Today's edition of MacVoices is supported by Blue Apron. Blue Apron turns you into a fantastic cook by delivering fresh ingredients and recipes to your door. You get everything you need to create amazing new dishes each week. Find out more and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping by visiting blueapron.com/MacVoices. MacVoices is at CES Unveiled in Las Vegas. I'm Chuck Joyner. We're in the Ability3D booth talking to Katie about something that I don't think we've seen before, a metal 3D printer. Katie, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
So tell me about your metal 3D printer.
So the Ability3D 888 metal 3D printer is the first desktop printer available on the market for regular consumers. A standard metal 3D printer is about the size of a minivan and can go anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million in price. Our 3D printer prints 8 inches by 8 inches by 8 inches, hence the 888 name. And it is the only desktop version available. Our Kickstarter goes live in March of this year, 2017, and it will be priced under $3,000.
Wow. So this really caught my attention because we'll be able to go over to CES on the show floor and see a lot of 3D printers that are printing a lot of, frankly, useless little plastic things just as demos. But this, you're going to be able to print some things that are very, very usable and just where plastic can't go.
That's correct. For example, in February of 2017, we will be 3D printing a cylinder for a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, and we'll be replacing the cylinder with our 3D printed version, revving the motor, seeing how it goes, proving how metal 3D printed objects can stand up to the pressure and heat that a plastic part normally wouldn't be able to stand up to. So there is a lot more practicality to having a metal 3D printer, especially for those who maybe do collectible things that they wouldn't be able to buy a replacement part for. They could just print one in their own home instead.
And one of the big challenges is always getting the models. But you're saying that they're working on a 3D scanner or 3D scanning specifically for this printer.
So the software that we're designing for the printer would be able to work with any 3D scanner. The software itself that designs the 3D object as a print is the customizable part, and it's being designed specifically for a printer as it has more variety and parameters that need to be followed to do a successful print, because we have a dual subject that's being used on the printer, as we have additive and subtractive printing that's going on.
What is the raw material that's going in? And I know it's metal. It's a metal of some kind, obviously, but what form does it take?
So it works best with aluminum, steel, and stainless steel welding wire. It goes through a MIG welder, the wire is laid, and then we have a drill bit that goes onto the same part and machines away any bumps or cracks or anything that would prevent a smooth surface from being printed on top of that.
This is very interesting. It's not going to be obviously for everyone, but for a lot of specialty houses and probably automotive, there are a lot of applications, again, where plastic just isn't appropriate.
That's correct. Sometimes there's collectors who have antique cars that they don't make prints for or parts for anymore, or you have farms who aren't technologically advanced to order a part, or they don't want to wait for a part to be delivered, so they'd be able to just print a part on their own there on their farm or in their shop or at their house for whatever they'd want to be able to use it for without having to wait, and they'd be able to see it being printed. So there's that added fact of, look what I made.
Yeah, I can imagine there would be a coolness factor to this, just like there is with the other 3D printers.
Yes, exactly.
So do we have a projected shipping date on this?
So we actually haven't shipped or launched our Kickstarter yet. That's being launched in March. So once we see how the Kickstarter is going, we'll be able to give a more accurate shipping date.
And I'm sure that means also that you're probably a little bit away from actually having it priced out, other than the estimate you gave earlier.
That's correct. We're still working on the exact price, but we are going to do our best to keep it under $3,000.
The website where we can send people to learn more.
Ability3D.com.
Katie, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Folks, we'll have more from CES Unveiled in Las Vegas. I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the MacVoices blog. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, the MacVoices Dispatch, to stay up to date on all the latest MacVoices news from our front page or at macvoices.com/newsletter. Do more with your Apple tech by subscribing to the free MacVoices magazine on Flipboard by visiting macvoices.com/magazine. Advertising and sponsorships handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.